everybody doing? Look at you, so cool, sitting in your couches, just chilling. It's good to see everybody. How you doing? Wow, did you have a good day one? Yeah? Well, I'm excited to be able to share some ideas with you today. I think we'll be able to guarantee that the event will be recorded. Wow. Let me tell you a little bit of my story, and then I'm going to share some ideas with you on how to do better in network marketing. I know for those of you lounging in the couches, it might be hard to totally psych up, but I hope you can get there with me. Did you have to earn this? You had to earn it? I love that. I remember the day that I got introduced to network marketing for the first time. I was 22 years old, and I was struggling. I had 18 jobs up until the time I was 22. For real, no joke, 18 jobs. And if you think about that, that's hard to do. You've got to apply for a job. You have to get accepted for a job. You have to start working at the job. You have to get fired at the job. You have to start over again 18 different times. I barely escaped high school. I have 8 credits in college. I have a 2.0 GPA. I was nobody's prize, and my father and his partner owned a little real estate office, and they needed somebody to show the homes that they owned. And they needed somebody to get their real estate license, so I got my real estate license. And my first year in real estate, this is 1987. Wow, long time ago, right? 1987. I made $45,000 in real estate. It's pretty good, right? Big problem. I spent $60,000. And I didn't save any money for taxes. I didn't know. You get the check, you spend the check. I get the check, you spend the check. I didn't know about this independent contractor thing. Like most of you, tax time, what's that? I don't understand. What's tax time? So I got a problem. This is January, and my father's partner, John Joyce, came to me and said, Eric, I got a friend who, I think I got a way for us to make some extra money. I got a friend who wants to show us something. Let's go over lunch and go check it out. And I'm like, I'm in, tell me what's the story? But I need money like oxygen. I need dollars right now because I've got this ticking time bomb to be able to figure out my situation before tax time comes in April. This is January. So we drive over to this guy's house. His name is Charlie, and he's a very successful guy. John Joyce is a very successful guy. My dad was a successful guy. I'm totally broke, behind on my promises, behind on my bills. The creditors are calling already, age 22, you said the check was in the mail. Come on, what's going on? And this was long before they had caller ID, so you couldn't screen those creditor calls. Nowadays it's much easier. Unknown, no, I'm not answering that one. But we go into this house and they put in a VHS cassette. This is a while ago. Anybody ever remember VHS cassettes? Anybody? Really? Wow. It's ancient artifacts. But anyway, VHS cassette. And it had been dubbed over like 20 times. And there's this ridiculous video of people in limousines and helicopters and mansions. And they made $1 million in 15 minutes and all this crazy stuff. And they were selling water filters back then. Water filters. What? Who cares? Tap water's fine. Right? So I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe, my filters could not let it in that this could even be real at all. So I said, kind of like the Shark Tank guys, I'm out. I wish you the best. Broke guy says to rich guys. And then the rich guy said, well, we think we're going to do it. Anyway, you can wait in the car. That's a problem. Because the only thing worse than, not doing it was seeing them do it and be successful, and I had to watch. So I just decided, okay, I pulled my dad aside and I said, Dad, one more time, could you loan me a little bit of money? I'll do it, but I don't have any money. I have $0. Will you loan me a little bit of money one more time to help me get started? And he said, sure, okay. So I got started in network marketing. And my dad and his partner, they were focused on real estate really, really hard. So for the first 90 days or so, they were involved, and then they were focused on their real estate, so they just weren't that involved after that, okay? So for me, here's what happened. I got off to a pretty good little start, and you know how I did it? I got my dad's address book, and I quickly called all of his friends before he had a time to call them. Because my friends were broke. All of my friends had no money. So I quickly called all of my dad's friends, who was my upline, and said, hey, you might want to look at this because my dad and John Joyce are involved in this thing. You should check it out. And I'd introduce my dad to his own friends, hoping, I'd do 3-way calls with my dad and his friends, hoping that it would end up somewhere in my organization. I'd get credit for it. So I did, and I got off to a decent little start. I got a check. I made a little bit of money. And I learned a lesson early on. I was really a minimum wage person. And I found out that from time to time in your life, your income might take a lucky jump. You might be in the right place at the right time with the right people, and all of a sudden your income goes boom. Some of you are experiencing that just in the last year. You're in the right place, the right time, right people, right company, and all of a sudden, boom, your income has just gone crazy. But if you don't quickly grow to the level of that income as a person, as a leader, then the income's going to come back down to the level of the person that you are. So that was a lesson I learned early on, because my 3rd month, I went full-time right away, walked away from real estate. Right away. My first month, I made $7,400, all with my dad's friends. My 2nd month, I made $12,244. Still have a copy of the check. My 3rd month, I'm full-time, walked away from real estate. I'm never doing that again. I'm unemployable now. My 3rd month's check was $1,098.60. And my first 2 months' income, I spent it all. So I'm in trouble now again. When I got that 3rd month's check, I quit for a day. I quit. I went home and I said, this is stupid. My upline's not supporting me. They don't have any trainings. The events are terrible. The economy in Minnesota, who's going to look at, they're all conservative people. Nobody looks at entrepreneurial stuff in Minnesota. Minnesota? All right. Well done, well done. The home of Adrian Peterson. What the heck? Man, I'm going to the game tomorrow, and anyway, my troubles. Anyway, I quit. I say, I'm done. Stupid stuff. They say the product sells itself. Liars. Does not either. And I went home, and the best thing that happened to me, Garth Brooks has a song that says, one of God's greatest gifts is unanswered prayers. The best thing in the world that happened to me is I had no place to go but back to network marketing. I had no place to go. Where was I going to go? No college degree. I'd walked away from real estate. I had, obligations to take care of that month. I had to figure this thing out. I had no place to go that would be able to create a situation for me that would get me out of my troubles. But the thing that I was blaming and mad at, because I was a professional blamer up until age 22, 23. That was my defining characteristic. It was never my fault. So I thank God a lot, because if the devil would have shown up in the suit of a businessman that says, all right, son, you're sick of this thing? I'll give you a job right now, $100,000 a year, but you work for me for the rest of your life. You never get a raise, you'll never get fired, but you get $100,000 a year. Are you in or you out? Guess what? I'd have taken it. I'd have taken it. And I'd have lived at 2% of my potential for the rest of my life. But thank goodness the angels kept that person away from me on that bad day. You know what I mean? And I had to go back to the thing that was the problem for me in the first place, which was my limiting beliefs about myself, my blame mentality. And I had to say, guess what? I've got to just dig deep. And I'll be honest with you, at the beginning, I didn't have a great attitude. I had to go, get in the car, listen to the best music I could listen to get me fired up, to get me through one day. And then I'd go home, I'd crawl under the covers, lick my wounds. The next day, I'd have to get myself psyched up one more time. And then I found a friend that every day we'd look at each other and say, tell me again why we're doing this one more time. Tell me again why I'm going here one more time. Tell me again why I'm dealing with this stuff one more time. And then I found another friend, and then another friend. And in my first 3 years in network marketing, I made just enough money to be miserable. I made just enough money to pay the bills, get by. I had the pin, you know. I moved through the ranks. Some of you know what I'm talking about, sitting in these couches. Everybody in the back saying, man, if I was just in a couch. And the people in the couches saying, man, I need to be farther than I am right now. I know what that feels like. Having the pin, making just enough money to be miserable, not enough money to be living the life that you want to live, right? I know what that felt like. My first 3 years, I rebuilt my organization 7 times. I built it up, 20, 30 people. We'd be rocking, and then all of a sudden, for whatever, one reason or another, it would fall down again. So I built up that first group with my dad's friends. And they'd never listen to me. I'm 22, 18 jobs, you know. They're not going to listen to me. They'd listen to somebody else. And then just for whatever reason, they faded away. So then I said, you know what? I'm going to go with my friends. Young generation, let's go. Right? Well, there are issues with the young generation. I mean, they can go, oh, a squirrel, and they're gone. It can happen. The only reason why we can explain that there aren't 20,000 people here, right? So I build that up and it fall apart. I say, you know what? I'm going to get serious people. I'm going to be serious. So I get people and I bring them in and say, drop down, give me 20 right now. You will go prospect 5 people today. Go get in your car, don't come home till you have 3 customers. I mean, all kinds I'm serious. And people said, listen, kid, we didn't come here to go to work for you. So they quit. So I decided to go the other way. We're going to have the love group. Let's just love and hug each other. Nurture, support. It's okay. I love you too. Hug. Nobody sold anything at all with the love group. I tried the party group. Hey, let's just party and we'll talk about business in between. Some people needed to go into therapy after the party group. It wasn't good. So 7 times. And I'll tell you what, you got an awards banquet tonight. The one thing that really served me in my career in network marketing is I never missed an event, whatever I had to do. If I had to sleep, I just never did. If I had to sleep in the bathtub, 8 people in one bedroom, go to the grocery store and make bologna sandwiches or whatever, stay away from the minibar, drive 15 people cramped, hating each other in a van, We did it all of that stuff. I did it all, but I never missed. I found a way. It's not about the resources, it's about being resourceful. It's about finding a way. So I found a way. But I'll tell you something that happened to me. Some of you have some stories of how you got here and sacrifices you had to make. And that's the best sacrifice you could ever make, because all the big breakthroughs in my life happen at destination events like this. But I went to the first event, and people were going across the stage, and they're getting the pin, and they're getting the flowers, and they got the oversized checks, and they have the tears. I want to thank the team that made this possible, because just 4 months ago, I was homeless. Right? And it was so inspiring. I was fired up. I'm like, man, it's going to be me. I'm going to be on that stage. And I was sitting in as front as they would let me sit. If I could sneak into the VIP section, I'd do it. I'm just saying. I don't want to condone inappropriate behavior, but you know what? Dang it. So I'd sneak in, I'd sit up close as I could sit. If I could sit at the base of the stairs, I'm sitting there. I'm going to be on that stage. And then the next event, I didn't earn it yet. And the little parade wasn't quite as inspiring. It was still like, you know what? I let stuff get in the way. Next time, I'm not letting another event go by without getting across that stage, but I'm sitting back a little bit. I'm not way up front anymore. By the third one, I'm sitting back in the middle, going, how long is this recognition thing going to last? Because I'm getting tired of this nonsense. Train me. But by the third year, I'm sitting in the back. And I'm saying, you know what? Maybe there's something wrong with me. For real. Maybe I'm not built for this. I'm making some money. I'm doing okay, but I'm not free. I don't have residual income yet. It's all on me. Nobody joins unless I'm in the room. Nobody stays unless I'm in the room. Nobody goes to the event unless I make it happen. Nobody's doing anything unless I was pushing the rock uphill constantly. If I let go of that rock, it was going the other way, the group would fall apart. If I took off for 1 week and said, I just need a little rest, the group would scatter like the wind. I'm sitting in the back saying, I went to this last event after 3 years looking for an excuse to quit. Just saying, maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I'm not built for this. It's for other people. Look at those. I know those people on the stage, and I know they're not very smart. I know it. They're like Forrest Gump. They're just walking around. Like, how's the compensation plan work? I don't know. What? They don't know about the product. They don't know about the compensation plan. They have this group that runs away from them like you can't stop growing. And I know the middle name of every person on my team. I know their birthdays. I know everything about them. It's too much. I must be broken, truthfully. So I went to this last event, discouraged, really discouraged, and looking for an excuse. And I was watching CNN on the TV in the hotel room the night before. And on CNN, they had this obscure expert. Have you seen these experts like they're on Storage Wars or Pawn Stars or whatever? Somebody finds some ancient sword. So let's go find the ancient sword expert. He's just down the street. You seen that? So they had an expert kind of like that. I don't even remember the topic now. But that expert is talking about this topic. I said, how does a person become an expert at that? It doesn't even make sense. I thought about how they would do it. Well, they probably read everything there was to read. They probably interviewed everybody in the space. They probably had personal experience with it. They probably maybe wrote a book about it, so they know a lot about it. So eventually CNN had to call them. Okay? So that's the only thing that goes through my mind that night. Nothing clicks. But the next day I'm sitting in the back and I'm watching the parade of tears. I want to thank the team. It couldn't have happened without you. I love you all so much. Without a good attitude. And literally, it was like getting hit by lightning. It connected in my head. What if I decided to become an expert here? Because I worked hard before. But what if I worked on my skills? What if I worked on my attitude? What if I worked on my abilities? What if I let go of results and I just decided to become the most skilled, most talented person when it comes to the skills necessary to build a network marketing business? The best in the world, world class. What if I just focused on that and I let go of being lucky, being in the right place at the right time, trying to find that magical person, trying to figure out this incredible strategy, and I just let go of all that, and I just worked on my skills. And I decided in that moment that that was what I was going to do. I wasn't going to focus on my upline. I wasn't going to focus on the company. I wasn't going to focus on the support. I was going to create it. If there was no meeting, I'd make the meeting. If there's no leadership, I'd be the leader. If there was no sales ability, I'd make the sales ability. You know what I'm saying? And here I was, age 26, 27. And I made that decision in that moment, and it changed my whole life. One decision to join the profession made a big change. The other decision was when I decided to go pro. I decided to be serious and quit looking for shortcuts. Because I thought you had to be tricky and clever. There's a big difference in network marketing between being clever and wisdom. There's a lot of clever people running around broke. But the wisdom, the people who seek wisdom in our business end up rich for a long time. So here's what I will tell you. My dominant emotion up until that point for my first 3 years was fear. Fear I was too late. Fear I was getting left behind. Fear I was on the wrong team. Fear I wasn't going to get the training or the support. Fear that I wasn't good enough. And in that one moment when I made a decision to go pro, my fear went away. Because now it wasn't built on anything or anyone else. It was just me. It was just me. And I decided that moment to become like a investigative reporter. And I started interviewing all the top earners. And I started saying, what are the skills that you have to master? And I identified the skills that I needed to master. And I was at a low level on some of them, and I had to start bringing myself up to a high level. And here's what I want to tell you. The biggest, most important thing in your life in network marketing is to make a decision. To become unshakable. To become the rock in the river. The river, most of you are the river, and you flow around the rock. Whatever that is, your job, circumstance, other people. But when you become the rock and the world has to revolve around you, when you become unmovable, unshakable, unstoppable, undistractable, when you become solid, everyone starts to climb up on that rock and say, okay, they find refuge in you because you made the decision. The biggest thing in the world to become a network marketing professional, take charge of your life, is just to make the decision. I will not be moved. I am unshakable. I am unstoppable. I am unmovable. Period. End of story. No matter what happens, no matter what support I get, no matter who hurts my feelings, there isn't 50 of you in this room that have really made a decision. The rest of you, something could knock you out of this business. Something could knock you out in the next 30 days. Something. But if you'll make a decision, I promise you, it goes from being hard to being easy. Once you make the decision, you burn the boats, you say, I'm not going back, I'm going to the top. Once you say that, then it gets pretty easy because you don't have any other options. You don't have any other place to go. And what I will tell you is once you really make a decision, things are going to happen pretty fast for you. For me, in just 2 years after I made the decision. 2 years. I spent 3 years struggling. And in 2 years, by the time I was 29 years old, my 1099 for that year was $980,000. Within 2 years. Just 2. And then I was able to go on. I mean, I'm telling you, once you get to making $1 million a year, it's hard to go back. I'm telling you. You could pay the bills at that level. And what I will tell you about that level, I know everybody was talking about claims and everything else. Not everyone will, but anyone can. Anyone in this room can. Not everybody's going to, but anybody could. If you make a decision, there's some people in this room that no one is expecting you to be one of those $1 million earners, and you're going to be one. No one is looking at you. There's some of you that are saying, hey, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I've been around the block for a while. I am who I am. I'm going to do my best, see what I can do out of this thing. And you're going to just blow this thing to smithereens. There's going to be some of you in this room, young people like me, or like I was, that say, you know what? This is my chance. I'm not going to walk into the matrix. I'm not going to step into that corporate slave world. I'm not going to take that. I did an interview with Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, last week, and he said, the most evil thing on earth is the paycheck. Because as soon as you take a paycheck, you sell your life, you sell your soul, you sell your time, you sell your freedom, and you live in bondage. Wow. Wouldn't it be a good goal to get away from a paycheck? Be a good goal, wouldn't it? So there's going to be some of you, young people, that say, you know what? I'm not going to do what my parents did and my grandparents did. I'm going to cut a new path. I'm going to do something special. I'm going to change my family tree. I'm going to change my family history for forever. Hundreds of years from now, they'll look back to this moment and say, guess what? Great-great-great-great-grandma or grandpa changed everything a couple hundred years ago for our family. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, right? All right. So, whatever, yeah, I agree. All right. Let me tell you, give you a couple principles for your notes if you're taking notes. First, network marketing isn't perfect. It's just better. It's better. It's better than a blue-collar job that beats on your body and is tossed this way and that by the economy. It's better than working for somebody else for that paycheck, being employed by somebody else, living on their agenda, trying to build their life. It's better than a sales job that has caps on it and pressures on it and is tossed this way and that by the economy. It's better than a traditional business. Even though entrepreneurship is the way to go, a traditional business is hard. What are your choices if you want to be an entrepreneur? You could buy an existing business, right? Question you have to ask, why is somebody selling it? Good question. You could buy a franchise as an entrepreneur. You could start something from scratch, which requires a lot of skill and a lot of money, a lot of time. Or you could be an investor. You could have money and invest and do that for your entrepreneurial business. But what do all those things require? Talent, money, and time. What if you don't have all of that and you want to find a way to become an entrepreneur? Network marketing provides the best way, by far, end of story, for a person to decide to become an entrepreneur. It does. Low price of entry, high potential return, The same benefits of a successful business, but without all the hassle. Somebody else does all the heavy lifting for you. You don't have to do all that other stuff. You got to plug in and work your butt off. That's what you have to do. You have to give it some time, but it'll be flexible on your time. Some people like to say, nobody makes money in network marketing. Anybody ever heard that story? Rest of you? No? Let me give you some numbers, just for fun. Our profession does approximately $169 billion a year in sales around the world. $169 billion. Just put this into your head so you get a little stronger when somebody says nobody makes any money, okay? $169 billion. On average, if you take the whole profession across the world, there's at a very conservative number, 40% of that number gets paid out in commissions, 40%. That works out to approximately $74 billion per year in commissions gets paid to distributors, independent people just like you, $74 billion. Big number. You know what that works out to? Over 200 million a day. Over 200 million a day right now, today, and it's growing every single day. 200 million a day is getting paid out to people just like you. 200 million. So then people like to say, only the people at the top make money. It's only those people at the top make money. You got to be in early, you got to be first, you got to be all this. Nonsense. There's approximately, my estimation, about 500 people in the world making $1 million a year or more in commissions. $1 million a year or more. 500 people in the world. So, if you average those people up to $2 million a year, because some are making a lot more than that, and 500 people times $2 million a year is $1 billion. $1 billion to $1 million earners. Okay? So that means there's $73 billion left. Getting paid to everybody else. So the people just at the top making all the money? Not even close. Okay, let's talk about the people making 6 figures a year, 100,000 a year. I estimate there's about 10,000 of those. So if you up that, now take any other business that's paying 10,000 people $100,000 a year, you won't find it for this size. You just won't. You'll find the executives and the stock owners getting all of it and everybody else getting small amounts. But if there's 10,000 people making 100,000 a year, average them up to 200,000, that's another $2 billion. Those are the 100K people. That means there's $71 billion being paid out to people making $300 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, putting a kid through college, paying off credit card debt, making a mortgage payment, paying for their cars, taking care of their insurance, taking a sick family member and guiding them to health. That's what this thing does. So next time somebody tells you nobody makes any money, say, hold on 1 second. Let me show you a little math, just for fun. So at least, if somebody hates network marketing, what I like to say sometimes, because sometimes I get an attitude when somebody doesn't like network marketing. Most of the time when people say, oh, is that one of those network marketing things? If I'm feeling kind, I say, wait, you have a story. What's your story? Tell me what happened. Did you join a company? Did the company go out of business? What happened? Something happened. Tell me your story. Right? If I'm feeling kind. If I'm not feeling kind, if I have a little bit of an attitude, if I'm tired, if I'm whatever, I like to say, listen, it's okay that you have a negative opinion on network marketing, but I wouldn't say it out loud because it makes you look really stupid. Just saying. You shouldn't say it out loud. Don't admit it to the world. Just don't do it. I don't do that very often, but it is fun. All right, so network marketing isn't perfect, but it's what? It's better. It's just better. Guess what the downside of network marketing? There's a couple downsides to network marketing. One, hold on, I'll tell you in a sec. One downside of network marketing is it's very emotional. It's just emotional because we're dealing with people all the time. It's not like you're an accountant dealing with numbers. We're dealing with people and emotions and ups and downs and expectations and angst and drama and insecurity and all kinds of stuff. It's a roller coaster of emotion. But here's the biggest thing. Guess when most people join network marketing? Here's why they join and when they join. Once they have 4, 5, 6 people in their mind that they think will probably do it too, that's when they join. That's when they pull out their credit card and say, okay, I'm in. They don't say, oh, this looks like a good career path for me. They don't. Most of you didn't. You said, you know what, I can think of some other people that might do this. Huh. All right, I'll give it a shot. What does it cost for me to get involved? What's my risk? All right. On average, what does a person pay when they first get started, their first product purchases, that kind of thing? What? About how much? Huh? Whatever, worldwide average. Sorry? A couple $100. All right, so let's just say it's a couple hundred. Here's what this really is. What they really join is a $200 lotto ticket. That's mentally what they join right there, $200 lottery ticket. And it's like a scratch-off lottery ticket. And these are the people that they think will probably do it with them. Right? So they go to the first person, they go, okay, I got this golden ticket, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna see if I got a winner. I don't know if I do. We won't know until we scratch it off. So they go to the first person and they say, you probably wanna do this, don't you? And the person says, are you crazy? No. And I don't even know why you thought about me. You're like, oh. So you scratch it off. But you still got 4, so it's okay. It's still kind of depressing because you thought that person for sure, they were for sure, lock, they were coming in. Then you got that crazy person at the office that's always passing around catalogs. They might be good at this. Right? So you go to crazy person in the office, the person says, you crazy, I'm in love with my catalogs. You're like, okay. Scratch them off. Go to the weird neighbor. It's always selling something. Scratch them off. They say no. It's like, really? Man, I thought this was going to be a lot easier. You go to the 4th person, and your approach isn't very good by now. You go to the 4th person, you probably don't want to do this, do you? Fourth person says, you read my mind. No, I don't. So now you're down to 1 left and you go, Mom, please, help me not be a loser. Mom's like Shark Tank. She says, piano lessons, I told you that was the last thing. I'm not doing anymore. So you're a bust. Man, what do you do with a busted lottery ticket? You tear it up. And then you throw it away. So somebody does this in network marketing, and then you go to them and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this network marketing thing. And they go, oh, don't talk to me. I've been there. I've done it. I talk to every person I know. No one wants to join. So they pour gasoline on all the grass around the people because they don't want to take responsibility. They just want to scorch the earth and blame somebody else for their lotto ticket not winning. Now guess why most of you are in this room? One of your 5 said yes. That's why you're here. He said, okay, I'll buy 1 more. Build up a little confidence, get things moving. So here's the reality. Here's the catch to network marketing. People say it's too good to be true. It's not. It's one of the toughest businesses emotionally that you'll ever do in life. Here's the catch. You must endure the temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. Uneducated people will think less of you because they do not understand this business model. They just don't. This wasn't what they were taught in school. They're taught, go to school, get good grades, get a job, get a paycheck, get a 401k. How's that working out? Not so good in today's economy. So they know they're unhappy, but they don't know that there's options. We have options for people. So what I will tell you is network marketing isn't perfect, but it's better. Number 2 is if you're going to do this, decide to be a professional. Decide to go pro. Decide to learn the skills. Decide to do what you need to do in order to be able to succeed in this business. Forget about the money. Focus on you. How good can you become? How talented can you become? Not just in your head, but in practice. How influential can you become? How good of a leader can you become? How strong can you become? How inspiring can you become? How good of an attitude can you develop? How bulletproof can you become? See what I mean? Decide that you're going to do that. Point number 3. The skills aren't hard, they're learnable, but you need to focus on them. You got to focus on them. There's 7 skills. You know what they are. How many people have read GoPro or listened to the audio? All right, great. The skills are there. 1, finding people to talk to. That's a skill. If you're complaining you don't have people to talk to, you haven't developed that skill. Develop it. Number 2, inviting people to take a look at your business. Number 3, presenting in a way that works but also duplicates. Number 4, following up. It takes 4 to 6 exposures for people to say yes. Number 5, closing. How to help a person make a decision that they want to make. Not strong arm, not high pressure, but closing. Helping people through the process as a professional. Number 6, getting people started effectively. That's where duplication lives. If you're not having duplication, you're not getting people started effectively. And 7, building for events. You guys have over 100,000 people around the world. I'm telling you, one thing that all of you need to work on is building for events. Because next year, every one of you, I'll challenge you right now, every one of you, not counting somebody else on your team, need to have 10 people at this event a year from today. 10 people at this event a year from today. And I'll tell you, if you go from 2,000 to 20,000 in the next 12 months, you'll be one of the biggest stories in network marketing. Everybody will be saying your name. But that means a decision now. That means you got to learn, how am I going to influence 10 people to do it, not counting the people on my team. If you have a spouse here, well, they got to go get 10 too. See what I mean? You got to go after it. Learn that skill. Make that thing happen. But I will tell you also, that's the one skill that helped me the most. I'll give you a couple tips on skills. The highest paying skill is getting people to attend events. It'll pay you higher than any other skill. I've done tons of analysis on this, and let me give you a formula. How many people would like to make $100,000 in the next 12 months? Okay. I didn't say I was going to give you an easy plan, but I'll give you a plan. Let me give you an event formula, okay? You will earn, on average, approximately $1,000 per person you have in your downline attend an event like this. $1,000 per person per year. For real. $1,000 per person per year. So if you want to make $100,000 in the next year, how many people do you need to have at this next year's event? How many? 100. Now, is 100 impossible? No. You got to get 10 people to get 10. You got to get 5 people to get 20. You got to get 20 people to get 5. You got to go get 100, whatever it takes. But if you have 100 people here, guess what? You're going to be right in that number. And if it's not there exactly right when it happens, give it a little bit of time because it'll get there. Now, if you believed me just now when I just said that, and most of you didn't, If you believe me, and we switched it around and said, I'll tell you what, the company, you can't use this when you go talk to people, but the company's going to have $1,000 in cash for every person in your downline at the event. They're going to give it to you on stage. Cash money. Now, if that was real, and you couldn't tell people, hey, listen, come, I'll give you half of it. You couldn't tell people that. How many would you have here? A lot. And there was no limits. That means if you figured out a way to get 1,000 people into this room, they'd give you $1 million cash in $100 bills. Could you figure out a way to put 1,000 people in the room? Of course you could. Of course you could. How much training would you need? Not much. When would you start? You'd start promoting this minute, wouldn't you? You'd do calls back to people saying, I need to get your credit card because we got to get you scheduled for next year immediately. Thank you, $1,000. Next call, thank you, $1,000. Would you track it? This is real. This is no joke. This is for real. You figure out a way to put 100 people in the room, you're going to make 100,000 in that next year. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I'm telling you, these numbers hold very, very accurate all over the world, every company I've ever worked with. So, this is what I was good at. This is the only thing that kept me in the business, because I was good at this. I could drag bodies. I could figure out ways. Let's rent a bus and get everybody to go there. We'll watch videos as we go, and it'll be fun. Let's get 8 people to a hotel room. We'll go down the street. We won't stay in the fancy hotel. We'll be in the Super 8 down the street. That's fine. We'll be all right. I had people sleeping in vans and sleeping in cars and doing all kinds of stuff to get to an event. People tell me they don't have a babysitter. Please. Come on. Don't have a babysitter. You want to take charge of your life or not? You want to go on an adventure or not? Do you want to have to say 3 months, I don't have a babysitter? Or would you want to say, no, it's no problem. I'll call my nanny. They'll take care of it, and they'll cook me a meal, and they'll drive me to the airport. Why not? I'm telling you, this is in your control. You got to decide if you're going to do this or not. I'm serious. The other thing that I will tell you, if you want to, people say we don't have a boss. Let me tell you what we do have. We have a boss in network marketing, and it's this, our calendar. That's our boss. Show me your calendar, I'll show me the success of your business. Show me how many appointments you've got, how many people you're going to meet with, how many people you're going to talk with, and I'll show you the future of your business. Somebody says, I just can't get anything going. Show me your calendar. They got nothing. It's blank. Oh, I don't have a calendar. I just keep it here. Oh, good. That's a good business plan. Your calendar, I'm telling you. You going to fill that up or not? And I'll tell you, the one most amazing thing? How many people have their phones with them right now? I'm going to do an exercise with you right now. I'm going to help you schedule at least one appointment right now. Ready? With a prospect. I want you to pick a prospect out of your phone, and I want you to just text them, hey, can we get together in the next week? Question mark. And that's it. And then they'll respond, probably, sure. What's up? And then you could say, I've got an idea I want to run past you. I'm coming back in town on such and such a day. When can we get together? Right? I promise you, you do that 100 times this weekend, your calendar will be absolutely packed. You'll have 30 to 40 appointments easy. Over the course of the next 30 days, whoever tells the story the most times wins. It's as simple as that. Texting has become the number one most effective way to schedule an appointment in network marketing by far, over phone, over anything. Texting has absolutely blown up in effectiveness. It's 400 or 500% more effective in scheduling an appointment than a phone call. Easily. easily. And it feels like cheating. It's like, wow, I got one appointment. Wow, I just got another appointment. Wow, just got another appointment. Anybody get an appointment yet? Yeah? It's not hard. No problem. Do that 100 times this weekend. Do that 100 times by Sunday. 100 times. Go through your phone and don't prejudge them. If they're not in your business, send them a text. Hey, I'd like to get together. I want to show you something. Coffee? Question mark. Send it. Breakfast? Question mark. Send it. Just get it out there. Fill up that calendar. The next 30 days can totally change your life. This calendar thing is everything. If you want to try and manage a group, manage the calendar. Manage your calendar, manage theirs. Whoever tells the story the most times wins. Whoever tells the story the most times wins. It's a race. Who's going to end up with the biggest percentage of people in the room a year from today? Who's going to have the most growth? Who's going to have the most excitement, enthusiasm, sales, rank advancements, income? The people who take action right now before you leave this room are the people who are going to end up owning it. So, here's what I'm going to tell you. Building a network marketing business is challenging, but it's worth it. Sometimes, at least for me, there have been several days that have turned my life around, but one in particular I'll tell you. I was about 3 years into my business, and I was working hard. But I wasn't working smart. I was looking for corners. I was looking for shortcuts. I was looking for all kinds of different things. And I had a little townhouse in Minnesota. I had a little family started, and the townhouse had 7 levels. Each level had one room. Went all the way up. Bedroom, other bedroom, dining room, kitchen. It was kind of crazy. But back then, around 1991 or so, we ran ads in the newspaper a lot to see if people would want to take a look at an opportunity. So that's what we did in Minneapolis. And I had ended up going to, I think it was a wedding in Nashville, Tennessee. And I ran an ad while I was down there, and I got this huge response. And I got some people started in my business. So things weren't really going well for me in Minnesota, and I was trying to figure it out. And I told you, I was kind of at the end of the rope. I hadn't decided to go pro yet. And I was behind on my bills. I was behind on all kinds of different things. I was scrambling. I don't know if any of you understand what I'm saying as far as just feeling desperate, feeling out of control, feeling like you gotta make something happen, otherwise it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get really bad. So I decided I was gonna move down to Nashville for 90 days in the summer and just build down there, get a little apartment, have people in the meeting room, and just run ads with my new people that I had down there and build the team. Didn't have the money to do it, and I kind of left my troubles behind in Minnesota, my bills and my troubles and everything else, and I went down to Nashville. And we had some success down there, enough to kind of keep it going, but I came back, and we came back in 2 cars. My wife was coming back with her sister a day behind me, and I went first. And I got back to our townhouse. And by then, our bank accounts had been shut down, closed. The electricity had been turned off because I hadn't paid the bill. And it had been about 30 days. And I walked into that house, and everything that was in that freezer and the refrigerator had rotted. And it was the worst smell you could imagine smelling. It was just unbelievably bad. And I went, oh my God, really? I got to deal with this. So I called my brother and I said, will you come over? And off the kitchen, there was this little deck that went over our little 1-car garage. So we put the garbage cans down, and we were taking these dripping sacks of rotted meat out of our kitchen, dripping across the floor and dumping them into the dumpsters below and gagging while it's happening. And I remember standing, it was at the evening, the sun's going down, and I'm standing on the deck after just dumping stuff, and the smell is just terrible. And I just decided, you know what, I'm not living like this anymore. I'm just not. I'm not going to live like this one more day. I'll be behind on my promises, behind on my bills, behind on my being a man. I don't feel like a man right now. You know, I'm not taking care of my family. I'm just faking it. So I'm going to remember this. And I walked back to the refrigerator, and I opened up the door, and I went, I can smell it today. Because I burned it into my brain that this is going to be a reminder. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to find what I need to do. And within 2 months, I had my breakthrough when I decided to go pro. But I was ready because of that moment. I decided on that day, I'm going to become the person that I need to become. I'm going to do whatever I need to do because I want to be able to not only just take care of ourselves and pay the bills, but I want to be able to take care of my parents like I've been able to retire my parents. I want to be able to give to the causes that are important to me, like the Starkey Hearing Foundation that we give tons of money to that help kids around the world with hearing aids all over the world. Amazing people. I want to be able to spend time with the people that I care about and be a little piece of their story, just a little tiny piece. I want not only the stuff, but I want the relationships. I want the purpose and the contribution and the fulfillment and the meaning in life, not just the paycheck. I want to be a person that people will look back and say, he made a difference in my life and helped me go to a different place. That's what I want to do, and I can't do it in this meager, ridiculous existence that I've chosen to live. The one thing I learned is that whatever life you're living right now, you chose it. You chose it. You made an appointment to be there. You made an appointment to be here as part of a choice to make a difference and make a change. I want to tell you that you're worth it. That you're worthy, that you're good enough, that you're strong enough, that you're powerful enough, and don't let anyone ever discourage you in the pursuit of your dreams. Let them say what they want. That's fine. You can't control that. But be that rock in the river, so unmovable, so unstoppable, so unshakable. You tell them I'm going to the top. You're going to see me waving from the top or dead on the side. I'm not coming back. I'm done with this old life. I've shaken it off, and I'm ready to live a new one. Are you with me? All right. It is worth it. It is worth it. I want to tell you, as I finish, that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for facing your fears. I'm proud of you for getting out of your comfort zone. I'm proud of you for being here, figuring out a way. Some of you had to pull off miracles. Talked to a gentleman over here that had to jump off of an airplane before it was taken off because he knew he needed to be here. You know what I mean? I'm proud of you for doing that. Some of you coming from other countries, figuring it out. From Peru, I'm proud of you. From Mexico, I'm proud of you. Colombia, I'm proud of you. Well done. But I will tell you this, in the next 12 months, there's more to do. There's more work. You've got to get better. You've got to get stronger faster. You've got to become smart faster. You've got to become more passionate faster. You've got to become a better leader faster, because as you bring in the next 100,000 and the next 100,000 and the next 100,000, they need someone to look to. They need to look to you. So you can't expect a few leaders to be able to hold this all up. You have to become the leaders, the next generation that's going to make it happen. So with that, let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, my wish for all of you is that you decide to become network marketing professionals, that you decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. I love you all very much.